Hi there, in this video we're going to review polynomials, and that's a lot of layers to that. So we're going to start with multiplying polynomials together. This is question number 4 from your review. And as you can see, we have a binomial, which is 2 terms, times a trinomial, which is 3 terms. And so the FOIL method doesn't necessarily work, but it's the same idea. You're going to start with the first term and multiply it by every term in the trinomial. When you're done with that, you're going to move to the 3 and multiply that by every number in the trinomial. So let's get started. X times x squared is x cubed, and x times negative 2x is minus 2x squared, and x times 4 is plus 4x. Now I'm going to move to the 3, and watch what I do on this one. 3 times x squared, I'm going to put it right here rather than putting it next to the 4, because these are like terms, so it's better if you line them up. 3 times negative 2x is minus 6x. Again, you're going to see that I'm going to line these x's up underneath each other. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Since 12 is a constant, it doesn't have anything above it to add, I'm going to just put it right there. Next, I'm going to just combine like terms, and my final answer will be x cubed plus x squared minus 2x plus 12. And that's your answer. Okay, now question number 6. We're going to solve this one by using the graphing calculator, using second calc 0 on that graphing calculator. The first thing you have to do is you have to, of course, pull out your graphing calculator. In a second, let me get to that. And as you can see, let me pull this over here. As you can see, I have put this into the y equals, and that was obtained by going to this button right here. And to get that exponent, you're going to use this key right here. So this will give me the function that's given, and I'm going to go to graph just to see what this graph is looking like. And as you can see, I'm looking for these zeros right here. The zeros of the function is where it crosses over the x-axis. It's not a very good picture. It's really kind of small. And as you can see, I've got a lot of extra space right here. So it's kind of like cropping a picture. You're going to actually crop this window. And to do that, you're going to go to the window feature. And I want to shorten up that x-min. So I'm going to maybe change that to a negative, let's go to negative 3. And I'm going to shorten up that x max, which is also, I'm going to change that to a 5. And these are just arbitrary numbers. I just kind of look to see where I might want to crop it. And now as I look at this graph, I can see it's a little bit easier to see where those zeros are. Again, as you can see, it's cropped at negative 3 and at positive 5. So that's all I did. This is the x min, this is the x max. And I'm looking for each of these zeros. Well, because your calculator doesn't have a brain, you kind of have to tell the calculator which one you want to find. So I'm going to use the second calc 2. You can see where it says 0. And I get a blinking cursor on there, and again we have to tell the calculator which one of these zeros do we want. Well, since I'm closest to this one over here, I'm going to pull that blinking cursor, I often call it a spider, over on the left side of that graph, that 0 I should say. This is the left side of the 0, this would be the right side. Again, you're just cropping a little piece of that so the graphing calculator will find this 0 and not this one over here. So once I have placed that cursor to the left, I'm going to push enter. And now I'm going to use the right arrow key and pull that cursor over to the right side of that 0. It has to be underneath the graph. You have to crop it off for the graphing calculator to understand what you're looking for. And then it has a guess feature. Let's just skip that and hit enter again. And now you can see that one of your zeros is at 0.76. Let's round that off to the nearest hundred. So I'm going to round it off at the 6th place. And so one of your zeros is x equals 0.76. Now, we're not finished because we have to find this other one. So we're going to repeat that process all over again. I'm going to second, calc, 2. And now once again, I've got to pull that blinking cursor over to the other zero. Once again, your calculator doesn't have a brain, so you've got to tell it what one you want. So now this time the left side is underneath. Again, if you put your finger on the left and your other finger on the right, you would see that this is the left side of the graph. I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm going to pull that blinking cursor to the right side of that graph, again, more to the right, and hit enter. And forget the S. And again, your zero is at 2.96. Now let's talk about this thing right here. That's scientific notation, and that's basically you're going to have like 11 zeros in front of this. Your calculator's not high definition. It's made up of pixels, and it had a real difficult time hitting the 0 pixel. So it came as close to that 0 pixel as what it possibly could. That's scientific notation. It's a very, very, very small number, so we just call that a 0 whenever we see it. Alright, so that concludes this particular video, and if you have any questions on the others, just take a look at some of the other videos that I'm going to put out tonight.